The Sanskrit language has infinite words, and I'm going to show you how. According to the Oxford English Dictionary, there's about 600,000 words in English, and that's including obsolete forms, phrases, and derivatives. Since Sanskrit doesn't have a fixed vocabulary, we can't just count the words. So let's do a little calculation. Sanskrit is a root-based language, so let's start there. It has about 2,000 verbal roots. That means actions or activities, like to go, to sleep, to sing. And these activities can be expressed in 12 tenses or moods. Tenses are things like the present tense, the past tense, the future tense, and moods are things like commanding, requesting, praying, wishing, and so on. Each verbal root also can be expressed through 3 persons. That means first person, second person, third person, and 3 numbers, singular, dual, and plural. There's also these 2 things called padas, which traditionally mean expressing something for oneself or expressing something for somebody else. Not all verbs can be expressed in both padas, but for the sake of our calculation, let's say they can. On top of this, there are 12 special suffixes that make derivative roots. That means when you attach it to a root, you don't just get a final verb that you can say, you get a new root that also has 12 tenses and moods, 3 persons, 3 numbers, and so on. For example, the root pat, which means to read or to study, can become pipatisha, which means to desire to read or study, or pati, which means to cause to read or to study, in other words, to teach. You can combine these suffixes too. Maybe you want to cause somebody to desire to read or study. Then there are 21 prefixes that pull the meaning of the roots in all different directions. For example, the root hr means to steal or take, prahr means to stab, upahr means to gift, ahr means to eat, and so on and so on. And you can even combine them. Upahr, for example, means to eat a little bit, or to eat breakfast. If we calculate this, we get 108,864,000 forms, and that's not even including the combinations of the special suffixes that make derivative roots or the prefixes. On top of all of this, you have one of those 12 special derivative suffixes that takes nominal stems and makes them into verbs. The word pushpa, which means flower, can become a verbal root, pushpaya, which means to become or to behave like a flower. And this verb has all 12 tenses and moods, 3 persons, and 3 numbers. And that's only verbal forms. Once you get into nominals, the number is truly infinite. That's why you can never have a Sanskrit dictionary with a fixed number of words the way we do in English. Because every time my friends and I have conversations in Sanskrit, we create new words on the spot that none of us have ever heard before, and we all know what we mean. Some ancient Sanskrit language philosophers used to believe that all possible Sanskrit words existed in the ether always. This means that according to them, every possible experience ever already exists.